guys, welcome back to my channel. I am doing a collab with Archana from Archie's at Work, and we are doing our top 12 favorite books of 2023 month by month. Make sure to catch the first half in her channel, and this is the second half over at my channel.
Hi everyone, my name is Archana Balasubramaniam, and as a part of my collaboration with Vidya, this is my favorite book for the month of July. So I started with a series called the True Blood series. So if you are into fantasy, and if you like vampires, werewolves, fairies, and all these supernatural creatures, if they interest you and if they arouse your curiosity, so this is the right book to read. I actually read the entire series of True Blood. So the entire series of True Blood consists of about 13 books plus 2 additional supporting books. So the synopsis of the story goes like this. Suki Stackhouse is a waitress at Merlot's Bar and Grill. So any waitress from the Merlot's Bar and Grill who had been involved with a vampire were found mysteriously dead. So Suki is worried that she is going to be next in line because she is also involved with the vampires. So Suki tries to defend herself, and in the process she encounters a lot of hurdles. And I think it's a perfect thriller. The end was totally unexpected and I really loved it. So each and every book of this particular series has an individual thriller involving Suki as the main character and her other supporting characters. So you should definitely read this book. This is one of my 5-star reads. So at least like from the first book till the 8th book it was a 5-star read, but after that it just came down to a 4-star read. But overall I thoroughly enjoyed the series, and you should read this if you love vampires, thrillers and all of that. And if you've actually watched the show Vampire Diaries, I'm sure you will love this particular series.
It's August, and just like that, I'm going to pick A House Across the Lake. And this is by Riley Sager. And I know that every time I read a Riley Sager book in a year, that book ends up being my favorite for the month. This one, actually, I went into it thinking, okay, it's cliched, I know what's going to happen. But then again, the twist kept coming like any other Riley Sager book. And I'm going to recommend it, you guys. I'm definitely going to recommend it because it was good and it was a breeze, and I read through it in one sitting and I liked it. So this is about like a famous personality who meets this other set of well, not exactly a couple, a few people out like at a farmhouse kind of a location or a beach resort wherein they own like beach properties, and someone gets killed and or murdered, and they are all suspicious of the new famous people who came in next door, and there's a lot of investigating, a lot of us guessing whether it's this person or that person, but it's not a whodunit. There is paranormal elements to it as well, like any Riley Sager book. So don't go into it thinking it's just a normal murder mystery thriller. It's not. You will get unexpected twists, and that's the beauty of this book, and that's why I'm recommending House Across the Lake.
So we are in September, and my September favorite is The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Divakarani. So The Palace of Illusions is a book of Draupadi's perspective on the Mahabharata. So a lot of these general stories do not really show you a perspective of how Draupadi felt about the Mahabharata. But this particular book details all of that. It is so beautifully written. I feel like someone actually read a woman's mind, to talk about all of that. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and this is actually one of my 4.5 stars read. So please do check it out.
For October, I am recommending Virtually Christmas by David Baldell. Now this was again just like I don't know, a book that I just randomly picked up because it had Christmas elements to it, and I wanted to read something through the course of the end of the year related to Christmas, and it was my first David Baldell book as well, so I thought why not just give it a try, and I was surprised. I actually enjoyed it. It was very different, like it was very futuristic, or wherein the storyline actually talks about a futuristic Christmas where there is this company that actually produces Christmas. So they are in charge of the production of everything Christmas, including Santa Claus. So they hire Santa Clauses, they are responsible for snow, they're responsible for creating the Christmas cheer, responsible for wrapping and sending gifts to people. They literally have taken it up like a corporate, and the kids have forgotten what Christmas is, and they don't really have seen a real Santa Claus. There are only like these hallucinations of Santa Claus that are sent to everyone's houses during Christmas. So it's like this whole make-believe kind of Christmas that the corporate has made, and the children want to go back and get the real Santa Claus, who is now just a person who lives by the dumpster sort of, because he signed an agreement with the corporate that he cannot be the real Santa Claus. So it's all about bringing Christmas back, and I kind of enjoyed it. I felt like it was a little long. It could have been cut short a little bit here and there because the storyline was simple, but it was really long and there were so many elements I felt was not needed. But nevertheless, I just enjoyed the whole story, the whole concept, and definitely worth reading around November, December time. So yeah, that is why I'm recommending Virtually Christmas, which was my favorite book for October.
So we are in November. So I'm sure you've heard of this popular series that's been going on in BookTok, BookTube, Bookstagram and everywhere, right? It's called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. But then Good Girl's Guide to Murder is the start of a series. So the second book is called Good Girl Bad Blood. I really loved this series so much, but then I especially enjoyed the second book. To give you a synopsis of what this book is all about, it's a thriller. So Pippa is a student who takes up the murder case of Andy Bell as a part of her school project. The case was closed 5 years ago, stating that Sal Singh was the murderer, though there was never enough evidence to support that. And the entire family of Sal Singh had been shunned, even though Sal Singh was also found dead. But Pippa believed that the evidence does not point out in the right direction, and she takes the investigation into her own hands. So in this, Pippa meets many people, uncovers a lot of truths and secrets about the town, and finally, will she end up solving the mystery of Andy Bell's murder? You have to check this out, so please go ahead and read the series. This is the synopsis of the first book of the series, but even better is the second book. So just don't stop at the first book, please move on to the second book and check out Good Girl Bad Blood.
It's December. December was an interesting reading month for me, and somehow I picked Hunting Adeline as my favorite book of December, and I'm actually a little surprised myself because I did not think I was going to enjoy this book. I actually just picked it up because it was different and I hadn't read quite a bit of smut in a while, and I thought, you know what, let's give it a try, let's see how it feels. And I read it in one sitting, so I was kind of surprised with myself. I will give it to you, this book has a lot of trigger warnings, so if there is any trigger warning that you can think of, it's there in this book. So make sure you're aware of that before you try and pick up this book. That is something I want to put out there. So I'm pretty sure the first few pages cover a lot of trigger warnings as well. So make sure you read that before you go into the book, because the book is creepy, you guys. Creepy in the sense it's a very disturbing, it's very psychologically I don't know, affecting or whatever, but it was a really good book. It's about a couple of girls who get kidnapped and how they escape, and how they end up killing their captors. It's like the movie Taken, but then set in a very like different atmosphere. At least Taken was like you could sit through it, but this one was a little bit more dark and evil, and they show you the bad side of the mafia and all of that. So but the great thing about this book was the girls in the story, or the main protagonists in the story, was no damsels in distress. I mean, they get put through so much that anybody would crumble, but they still come back really strong and really ready to avenge, and then they kill their captors, and they're very, very strong-headed, and they're, I don't know, I just felt like it was because of these women that I actually enjoyed the book more than the story. But somehow in this book, the writer was able to bring out the power or the strength of women despite everything that they go through, and I kind of like that. But again, make sure if you're thinking of picking this book, that you make sure that you go through every trigger warning, because it is a crazy and there are triggers all over the place, and I'm not naming all of them in this video. So that's it, you guys. December was Hunting Adeline for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun collabing with Archana for this video. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and I will see you in another video next year. Bye.